Good afternoon, everybody. Jim Fleeler, Charlotte Products, Friday, May the 8th, 2020. Once again from Ontario, thank you for joining us, and we hope you and your families are certainly staying safe. Thank you for joining us again. We certainly appreciate that opportunity to assist you in any way we can, and thank you for all your submissions and questions and ideas, because it's because of you is really the reason why we do this. And really, we would be remiss if we didn't thank the hundreds of our employees across North America that are and their families, and of course the frontline workers for sure. News this week, as we always talk about there's an interesting statistic that according to Health Canada, there's been a 58% increase in accidental poisonings in this February and March versus the same period last year. That's a big increase, accidental poisonings. Why is that? It's mainly residential properties is what it is. While cleaning to prevent and protect themselves from COVID-19, obviously there's some side effects there like burning eyes and respiratory issues and trouble breathing, children drinking and digesting some of the products. And most of the calls, in fact, 38% of them are surrounding house or store-bought bleach. Not the professional bleaches with stabilizers and all of those things in there, but the store-bought bleaches, right? And that's really a shame. Remember our webinar probably about 3 sessions ago when we talked about the dangers of mixing vinegars and bleach and soda and peroxides and all of those particular things. You want to really be careful. You want to avoid that at all costs because it's dangerous and the results can be fatal. So try to avoid that. But a 58% increase, the effort's there to clean, obviously, but the dangers there of doing it incorrectly in the wrong products, we just want to caution you on that. The federal officials, Health Canada, they really say that there's obviously the factors is there's more cleaning products in the home. People have stocked up on them. People have used them. There's more exposure. People are cleaning more. They're disinfecting more often. There's more time spent at home as well. So people are automatically taking the time. They have the time to clean. They're cleaning areas even that are seldom cleaned. Instead of just doing that spring clean once a year, people are really just cleaning because maybe they're bored or maybe they're just afraid and they want to do better. Children, obviously, higher risk. Pets, higher risk there. So the solution for you really that we want to recommend is consider purchasing cleaning products and disinfecting products from the cleaning distributors and supply houses that are a reputable source, right? One that you do trust or one you can learn to trust. And you can tell pretty well with your first meeting with them whether they're trustworthy or not. They have employees that can assist you with all the specific questions, I want to clean my washrooms. What should I use? How should I mix it? What are the steps? Are there any precautions? Everything that those industrial type houses and professional houses have, they have all of the SDS sheets, so the safety data sheets. They have all of the PPE and things. And when you buy something in a store, it's a little bit different. Or if you buy something in a local market, it's a little bit different. So they can help you with all of those things and how to get the best results there. So and also there's a lot of our distributors across North America that have e-commerce sites that are full of information that can help you from the comfort of your own home without avoiding going out and worrying about social distancing and coming in contact with people. So we encourage you to look at the e-commerce. All of our distributors have those sites there. So if you buy the right product for the job and you use it according to the directions, your family and our environment will be cleaner and safer, and it's really the right thing to do. So I think with that being said, let's begin today's session. And it is Friday, May the 8th. Hard to believe it's May the 8th already. And as always, this is our corona outbreak or coronavirus outbreak prevention series 2. And we plan on these ongoing as we go along. And the interest, again, is gaining. The population is growing every single week, the registration. So we thank you for that. I'm done with that picture. My hair's looking a little poofy today. And I looked at some of the very first webinars we did, and it was a whole lot shorter, and I can't wait until my barber opens up again, because it's getting a little out of control there. So this week's discussion, obviously, cleaning protocols to lower the risk of an outbreak. We are going to continue. Make sure you send your questions in. We've actually added some of the questions from this week that we answered already to the customers. We've added names in here. This week's real discussion is about a post-coronavirus return to work protection strategy. Okay, there's talk from the governments, more and more local communities all across Canada and every one of the provinces about certain trades, certain classes of business opening, you know, from landscapers and garden centers and golf courses and marinas and all of those things. Some of the stores a little bit different and things. So, but really, what's the right way to return to work? What are some of the things you can put in place that protect you? So what we've done, and we're on the fly here, we're learning as we go along. We're here to assist you with returning and reopening to the public. So we put together a post-coronavirus protection strategy, and I'll talk about that here today. And just keep in mind, as we go on next week, we'll have more information for you that's more pertinent to whether you're running a library or an arena or a public, any kind of public venue or restaurant or whatever it may be. We're going to be full of those. So really, we want to make sure we're cleaning for public safety. You know, we want to define the proper cleaning protocol for you, the proper disinfecting of high risk touch contact points. We're going to help you identify areas that you actually are specific to your type facility to clean and disinfect, whether it's the front of the house, the back of the house, public washrooms, the list goes on and on and on. And there's really four main elements we're going to cover today. And that is one, product selection. We're just going to briefly go over that. But really the cleaning and disinfecting processes, we're going to revisit that. We've talked to you in some of the recent webinars about that. Accredited recognition. You know, we want to make sure that you know how to advertise that what your facility is done to ensure public safety. Because quite honestly, that's going to be your biggest challenge if you're a public facility, is how do you convince your facility safe, and how do you convince the customer to come back? And that is really, we're all going to struggle with that for probably the next year, as a matter of fact there. So, and then community awareness. That is one of the elements for sure. You need to tell people what you've done. Social media is an unbelievable cost-effective platform. You know, tell customers what you've done, what you've improved, that you've put in the solid effort for their safety and lowering that risk. So that's really the basis of today's conversation as far as that goes. And again, this is just in development, and we're going to continue to go on. You'll be surprised what we have next week there. So what is our goal? We want to educate public facilities on how to best reopen their facilities and improve public health. It's very, very simple. If we can help you with that, then we've really done our job, and that's one of our goals. So really unlocking the doors and turning the lights on and going back to the way you used to do it really is no longer safe enough or acceptable. There is going to be a multitude of changes that are required. And quite honestly, it's a good thing for every single one of us. Finally, the government is recognizing from a legislative standpoint the need, and even taking into account WSIB and things, they're actually standardizing and increasing the focus on cleaning protocol in a building. And that has never, ever been done before. So thank the governments for actually doing that. And so another example of a good thing for us all. Social distancing. There's going to be fewer tables in a facility to get going. There's going to be less people allowed inside. There's going to be curbside pickup. You'll see that ramp up. There'll probably be fewer employees. You're going to see cashless transitions. I mean, I don't know the last time that I actually spent any money, as a matter of fact, unless it was electronically. There's probably going to be merchandise return policies. I mean, what happens if you buy some clothing and you take it home and try? I mean, I'm sure there's going to be some impact there. So expect that, right? And there's going to be minimum public cash flow, you know, here. And seniors generally, I mean, they're used to using cash. And some of those things are going to change, whether it's an ATM or a debit card or you know, electronic funds transfers and all of those things. So that's some of the things that are really going to affect us. The Canadian government, and as I said last week, they've just hired 60 new inspectors. And believe me, there is going to be a more stringent protocol on what you're doing to ensure public safety. You know, we're all going to have to change the way we do business. We're all going to have to change the way we socialize. And thankfully, the importance of cleanliness will increase and that rise in importance from government officials, which is a good thing. So how do you convince your customers to come back, right? That's really, what your biggest challenge is. Those employees, even employees and customers and all the facility occupants, they'll have heightened concerns, right? They will look visually at your facility instantaneously and make a judgment whether it's good or bad. There's going to be more armchair critics. The assurance that the facility is safe and your facility maintenance teams are using proper cleaning protocol, proper products, proper processes, you're going to need to validate those and ensure that they're visual, right? There's going to be, continuous updates on cleaning standards to ensure that your facilities are safe. It's a healthy space. Odor control. Having a clean, fresh atmosphere is paramount. If you're inviting customers to come back and all of a sudden you've got a not so good smelling facility, they will probably walk out the door. And generally they won't come back the second time. Right. So that is something that we can obviously help you with without question, but that's what people are looking for. You want to make it very, very easy for customers to wash their hands, use hand sanitizer to ensure that they've got reduced concerns. And those are all challenges that we're all going to have to tackle, even from employees going back. I mean, whether it's a financial institution or a government building or a private enterprise, I mean, how do you ensure that the facility is safe? And I know our facility here, we've put a very thorough cleaning program in place, checks and balances, all signed off, by the way, on all of the doors, verifying that these rooms have been disinfected. And that's just one simple way that you can do it. So the peace of mind is when an employee walks in our building and they go to their office, instantly they know that it has been cleaned thoroughly and disinfected, the date, who did it, signed off, boom. So that to me is, and there's no cost to doing that, as a matter of fact. Public transit and public re-engagement, this is probably the biggest area that worries the minds of commuters. And there are millions of commuters across our country, without doubt. I mean, there's a picture of a bus in the background. I can guarantee you the next time I jump on some form of public transit, I'm going to be very, I guess, concerned with how clean it actually is. And these companies rely on the revenue to move people. The world relies on transit to move people. You could have a major impact there. So what are some of the areas here? Obviously, airlines. Cabin cleanliness. We've always been suspect on that to begin with because a plane turns around in probably less than 10 minutes. How do you clean a 777 in 7 minutes, where you've got 300 people getting off and 300 people getting back on, So the cleanliness and the disinfection of the seats, the armrests, the food and beverage service now, we're going to be questioning that. Some of the people that bring on their own lunches and dinners and things like that, we're going to question that, right? That maybe not be allowed. Air quality, the entertainment touchscreen, social distancing. If you're a bus, the interior cleanliness, or coach, bus, school bus, it doesn't matter what it is. The disinfecting of all of those contact points, the washrooms if they're coaches and things. Social distancing. How do we take a bus now that's used to transporting 40 people and now we're only allowed 20? What's the outcome there? What's the impact? And then eating on the buses, railway, subway, via, streetcars, doesn't matter what New York City transit system, Toronto, it doesn't matter what it is. The washrooms, the interior, the cleanliness, the disinfection of contact points, seating, respecting social distancing, and even down to taxis and Uber and rideshare. I mean, I've gone to lots of conferences where there'll be 8 of us ram into some particular SUV, and believe me, we can't do that anymore. So these are all things that they have to respect social distancing and obviously ensure to the people that their cab, their Uber, their bus, their whatever is clean. Otherwise, we'll make other choices, right? As far as facility focus and priorities, if you're a restaurant, any kind of food service, the back of the house, we talked about it last week, I'll mention a little here, the front of the house, the public washrooms, the dumpster areas, the waste receptacle areas, people will start judging those, right? I mean, dumpsters, organics, all kinds of bacteria, maybe viruses, maybe whatever growing in there. What's your dumpster program, right? We can help you with that. Food service takeout, the back of the house, the public washrooms, where the delivery drivers come in and pick up windows. These are all areas that we need to focus on. If you're an office type building, there's public washrooms, communal washrooms, lunchrooms, boardrooms, gathering meeting rooms, personal offices, personal workspaces, cubicles, grocery and retail. How do you know the carts and the buggies and the hand baskets you pick up to get your produce, or maybe 3 or 4 items or whatever? How do you know they're clean? How do you know they're disinfected? These are all questions that the public is going to assume you've done. Actually, no longer assume that you've done, and they're going to want you to do that. I seen last week, it was the first time ever in my career I seen it, where a plastic lining company actually made a shopping cart bag that basically the customer took and lined it just like a garbage bag in a waste receptacle. So when you went into a store, you had a perfectly clean, uncontaminated buggy, which is an amazing idea, as a matter of fact. So back to the groceries there, and retail, if you're change rooms, lunch rooms, customer service areas, counters, checkouts, and then even down to golf courses and garden centers. Those carts, those buggies, those washrooms, customer service areas. So there's a broad spectrum and different type of class of customers here that we all of a sudden have to refocus and prioritize the importance of cleaning protocol and disinfecting, right? If you're reopening and you've got a takeout window, a drive-through, a pickup window, what we've always said to you is really, our Serve Clean sanitizer, the nice thing about this is ready to use. There's no dilution. You would simply take a trigger sprayer on top, or one of the flip caps we've talked about on top, pour it in a little bucket with microfiber, but you've got the peace of mind in 60 seconds that you've got a sanitizing claim. So if you're making pizza or subs or whatever in the counters, instantly, your people can actually sanitize in between sandwich making or pizza making or whatever the protocol is. So that is an amazing, and it's actually, I believe it's in stock at a lot of our distributors across the country there. So it's something you want to look at. Washroom surfaces, we thought we were critical before. I can tell you we're going to have a whole new set of a benchmark to clean better now, right? Outbreak prevention, odor, all of those things. And if I look at this slide, if I show you the schematic there, you can see all of those different surfaces. They're those that are contact points. And I'll guarantee you most people can't get all of those contact points, but it really comes down, there's probably about 15 there. And if we go to, sorry, it's me operating the slide. If we go to the slide, you will see there the hand dryer, the door going out, the waste receptacle. You could see the purse on the floor, a briefcase on the floor, the splash areas around the bowls, the flush handle, the door handle, the toilet tissue dispenser, the soap dispenser, the flusher on the urinal, the taps. These are things that part of our protocol will take in. We'll have these educational pieces for you that show you these schematics. And this is so clearly I could tell you, if you were a new employee starting for us, I could show you this, and then you would know exactly where the risk areas are and what to use, and away you go, right? Public perception, it is very powerful, right? It's either good or bad. And it may be acceptable this one time due to an inconvenience if a customer comes in, but I will guarantee you if it's a bad perception, they probably will not come back. Food service, cutlery and dishes, once in a while, cutlery, it doesn't quite come out, it's got water spots and stains and glassware and things. And if it does now, people are going to think twice about doing business with you. We have dish programs for you that leave dishes sparkling clean, and silverware and cutlery and all of those things. Don't take that chance. That person is leery to come into most facilities coming back from this. They're going to be automatically. Make sure you treat them the best possible way they can, so they continue to come back, right? And ensure your dishwashing handlers, make sure they understand the importance and the impact of the role they play about clean, safe dishes. No food residue, no watermark residue, no stains and things. They will judge you, and that's the power of public perception. And you can see here, I want to talk about odor control, and there's a little scale there, and you could pretend that's a sales graph or the stock market or whatever. What I will guarantee you is it'll go from that high mark where the pen is right down to basically the bottom if you don't address odor control. that is instantly judged. And I won't go into some of the nasty smells that are there, but everybody knows what I'm talking about. There's nasty smells, and people will, all of our surveys from many, many years indicate that if you've got a bad, foul smell, that 50 or 60% of the public will assume your facility's dirty and not clean, maybe a potential cross-contamination issue, and they won't come back. Right, so you need to establish a program that eradicates those malodors, whether it's on a molecular level or bioenzymes, digesters, whatever it is. We've got the things to help you do that. Okay, so I'll go to element 1 on the protocol. Obviously, product selection. And I've put our catalog there, one of our brands, and I've got some screenshots. But what you can basically see is this is full of everything from specialty cleaners, washroom care, grease traps, floor finish, wood floor coatings, soap. It doesn't matter what it is that are in there. Our Serve Clean brochure we went over last week. Those products are there, from laundry and ware washing. We've talked about our infection prevention program there about breaking the chain. This is all information that you need to review, and we've got professionals all across North America that can help you with that. And even if you've been doing it a certain way for the last 5 or 10 years, it's maybe not a bad idea to revisit today and say, have I got the best disinfectant? Have I got the best product that matches the soil load of my facility and maybe the level of skill set from my custodial janitorial people? Right. So now is the time to actually revisit that. The front of the house, I went over it before, and we'll include this in our protocol moving forward. But again, if I'm training somebody or starting somebody or making sure I want my existing employees know all the areas to hit, all the checks and balances, color coded, numerical, visual, all of these things that can help you build customer confidence. Front of the house, back of the house. 3 bay sink systems, and then I showed you a little quat paper there last week to test ppm. There's one here for your sanitizer, and you generally want to be about 200 ppm. And health inspectors that come along and government officials, and also your own, you owe it to yourselves and your customers to do that, to test that sanitizing level many, many times throughout the day to make sure it's at least 200 parts per million, because if it isn't, you're not in compliance and you're subject to a fine. You're also risking the health of the public. Okay, so those things are there for you. And we've had a couple of questions come in that we'll talk about later about 3 sink systems. The optional delivery methods, right? We've talked about trigger bottles. We've talked about refillable gallons. We've, this is one of my favorites, which I've talked about time and time again, this pump up sprayer, whether it's a portionate, a measuring cup, it doesn't matter what it is. These are all optional delivery methods, and work with us to work with you to help you define which one best suits the needs of your facility. The Serve Clean program, wall charts. This is the United States. This is Canada. I mean, if you have a restaurant, if you have a food processing facility, it doesn't matter what you've got. If you're serving food, a coffee shop, whatever. I mean, imagine this: one neat dispenser on the wall with 2 concentrate products that will clean and sanitize about 95% of everything you ever want to do. Right. And by the way, the most cost-effective program that you can put in place, because it'll save you probably 25, 35%, no matter what you're doing there today. Have regulatory compliance in place, color coding, ease of training, no chemical contact, all sustainable with all kinds of plastic jugs going in the landfill. If you haven't looked at these type programs, you need to do that. Right? Because it's the best program, it's the best return on investment that we could ever teach you in a food service application. Element 2, this is quite honestly the largest area of failure. Right? It's proper disinfection protocol. And it goes on every single week. It's our biggest questions. You always want to use a registered product. We showed you exactly where the DIN numbers and EPA numbers are on the label. You want to make sure it's diluted properly regardless of the method. You always want to pre-clean surfaces. If you do not, I've seen a lot of YouTube videos in the last few months where people just spraying things everywhere, disinfectants on surfaces, on plants, on tables, on counters, on ovens and doors, and they're probably spraying the children for all I know. But I mean, and then they just walk away. You are not doing, in fact, you're creating a problem, right? So pre-clean. You need the right dilution. You need the dwell time. You need a potable water rinse. These are things that if I could give you one tip of the day on how to lower the risk, this is the only screen you need to focus on. That's it. That'll take care of you. There's all kinds of registration lists. Health Canada, the EPA, World Health Organization, the CBC list, Charlotte products. I mean, we've got more registered products there than the average manufacturer for sure. I mean, these things are all available for you, right? What we do have now, and this is even now, we have facility surveys, audits that we can come in. You can go in and do just really review the protocol in your building and say, how safe? What am I doing? What do I need to do? What are the results of my survey? What products should I use? These are all things to reduce and lower your risk. And they're available today, right? This is one we found just this week from the CDC that have pandemic flu checklist event planners. They have a pandemic checklist for workplace administrators, for children's programs, for school boards, for administrative K to 12, all of these things, and then even workplace safety. These are amazing checklists that we're going to take the best of everything and we're going to fine tune it and put it into our program that we can bring to you and continuously expand that to help you. New this week, our post-coronavirus protection strategy that I'm talking about now. Okay, quality assurance checklist. This is one here that basically is an office environment, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. If you do Saturday and Sunday, we can add it on there for you, but a checklist of going through on all of the different things that you need to do as a custodial janitorial person. That is quality control. You've got a date, you've got a signature, you've got verification and really validation, I guess, of what's been done. Your employees and the public will feel better about that. Show them what they're doing, right? Don't hide these kinds of things, right? You know, from a training standpoint, the documentation now is more important than it ever has been. I'll talk about e-learning in a minute there, but we've done, I mean, hundreds and hundreds of educational and motivational type and product specific training programs across North America. I mean, thousands we've done, you know, and just this week I was involved. I took the GBAC, which is the Global Biorisk Advisory Council course. Happy to say that I scored 100% actually, by the way, so I'm pretty proud of that. But that's all with an emphasis on SARS-CoV-2, COVID-19. And that's available on at the ISSA. And I mean, I took that this week. Why did I take that this week? Because it helps me help you, every single one of you. That's why I did it. Right. And it was an online course. I didn't have to risk going anywhere in a classroom. This is really, you can go to GBAC, you can go to the ISSA. This is really what it is. It's about 3 hours long, as a matter of fact. There is questions throughout it. There are questions. There's an exam at the end, you know, and then you get your certificate as long as you pass. And you go for there, and you can get that through Charlotte. You can go right to the Charlotte online program. You'll actually, if you're a member of ISSA, you'll get a little bit of you'll get a bit of a break. If you're not, you should be a member anyway, and you do get a price break by dealing with us, as a matter of fact. So I encourage you to sort of come through our site there. As far as again, the Charlotte Online Learning membership, I talked about it last week. 22 courses talking about COVID-19. 31 seminars from last year that are fresh, 21 seminars from the year before that are fresh, over 300 online courses that are there. Verification, validation for you, right? Now is the time when things are a little slower before they ramp up in the next few weeks for you to train your people, train yourself if you're a supervisor, whatever it may be, okay? Element 3 is really accredited recognition. Advertising, you know, what you've done in your facility to ensure that public safety, to encourage the people to come back, right? We've got certificates made up. We can fine tune for you if you're using Enviro Solutions products. I mean, display that in the window, more sustainable, safer, the right cleaning protocol, all of these things. And we're going to develop and enhance these as we go along. But you want to advertise them. You know, HACCP guidelines, I talked about it last week, and really that's hazard analysis and critical control points, and that's really to do with, it's a preventative approach to food safety and production processes, and it doesn't matter, you can even take these guidelines and apply them at home. Apply them to your building service contract business, whatever it may be. So you tell people, listen, I follow HACCP guidelines. That's a good thing. That is a great thing for you, without doubt. Optisolve, we've talked about that. We're about to launch a huge campaign in probably the next 30 to 45 days, but really about digital imaging technology. I can look at that keyboard on the left and I can assume it's clean. I can look at it on the right and I can guarantee you it is not clean. And how many, if that's a communal keyboard in a library or an office space or whatever it is, you've just spread whatever form of bacteria and viruses, right? That's the little things that we need to pay attention. And then you've got IT items and sensitivities with electronics. How do you clean those things? Well, we can help you with that. We make the invisible visible. So that is something you'll see more and more about there. We're the only ones in the industry that I believe have this, and we've got the whole entire team to go along with you and help you out there. Right? You know, element 4, and this is the last one, is really community awareness. We talked about the accreditation, but social media, you know, I mean, telling people what you did, tell them what you've done, tell them what you've improved, you know, the detail and the effort that you've put into it for a safe facility, and then your ongoing steps and plan for assurance. Just don't do a thorough clean and say, okay, public, I'm ready. It's good. Because after that, that's when, as Asquith said, the rubber meets the road. When we did the production facility, you need to have an ongoing assurance plan, right? Because customers, you want them to come back and back and back. So that's really a little bit of our post coronavirus protection strategy there. We'll continue to expand that. That's as quick as we could put it together. A couple other things before we get to the Q&A. People, one of the biggest questions is, I missed this session today because it was 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Can you send me the PowerPoint? Can you send me the presentation? Well, these have been online since day one. If you go to our Charlotte website and you see the tabs across the top that say programs, you just drill down to infection prevention, then this automatically comes up for you, right? So you can register there, and you should register, because then you'll get the automatic reminders. And also, if you register and you didn't make today's session or this week's session, it will send you a reminder within 24 hours that says, listen, if you've got time now, here it is. Right? So you don't miss anything. So you can go back from March 13th. That's our exact first one we've done. Now it's May the 8th. You can go back and visit every single one of those webinars, right? And that is one of the key questions that we get. And believe me, there's a lot of solid information in there. Resources, we've added new this week, the CDC, Charlotte, we've got brand new ones, resources on there and links and information. The CBC Radio, TV, and Health, Coronavirus Health, that's a good one. That one's based out of Canada, mainly Toronto, Ontario. But I mean, it's amazing information. Of course, CBC, biocides, American chemistry. I mean, there's some good resources there, you know. So really, that's our summary for today. We're going to get to our questions here with Asquith in a few minutes there. Hopefully you found the ninth webinar helpful. As always, we at Charlotte, we always want to thank you for your valuable time. We sincerely appreciate it. If we could just help one person, we've helped, right? During this pandemic, our webinars are going to continue. We've had a huge demand to continuously put them on. The next one's May 15th. I just can't believe that. That's May 15th already. I don't know where the time's gone. We're going to talk about the most recent COVID-19 updates. We're going to talk about disinfection efficiencies and SOPs and labor costs and how to address that, because really, if you can address labor, that's a great thing. Also, I put a little tidbit in here, an introduction of our brand new alcohol-based hand sanitizer. We have some limited quantities of that will come out as we ramp up. 70% Health Canada approved, various sizes from a small personal 100 ml going right up from there. Give us some patience while we ramp up for that. It's been something that we've done, some of those efficiencies, and we're very proud of. And we'll get that to you as fast as we can, but you will have an option there. So really, with that being said, thank you. And I'm going to ask Asquith Williams to come into the screen now, and for our annual A&J question period there now. So we've got some prep that the IT directors just handed me, and we'll go from there. So Asquith, come on in.
Hello, Jimmy. Nice to be back.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for joining us again this week. Taking time. You're not down on the production floor.
Not today.
Not today, but you've been there.
I'm here with you today, Jimmy.
Well, that's good. No question. Well, thank you as always. We'll get right to it here. This a question actually came in yesterday from a company. Fairly large public company there. They're using Enviro Solutions ES64, and they're mixing it 400 mils to 20 liters of water to disinfect their offices, taxis, and school buses. What PPE do our drivers and cleaners need to wear?
Well, they should follow what's stated on the SDS to begin with.
Yes.
And notwithstanding that, they should also have wear masks, because you got to prepare just in case there is SARS-CoV-2, which of course is the virus that causes COVID-19.
Mm-hmm.
So you just got to be prepared. Gloves, a mask, and of course safety goggles.
Yeah, because I guess if they're doing a bus and they're trying to do the ceiling areas,
absolutely.
where the windows and it like that, if you're spraying it with a trigger sprayer, you could have that mist come down. So you should wear goggles.
You should wear goggles.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. Actually, if you look at an SDS sheet for a glass cleaner, even it'll tell you to do the same thing, won't it?
You got to protect your eyes.
Yeah, exactly. So people think it's a little strange, but we've all had, glass cleaners are made of ammonia or alcohol or whatever. That'll bite. That's like an orange. If you peel an orange and it squirts you the wrong way, it's going to
at least irritate your eyes, and you're trying to mitigate that.
Yeah.
As best you can.
Yeah. Okay. Here's one from Christine. I have a small 2-bay sink in my bistro. How can I use your pot and pan detergent and sanitizer with only 2 sinks? Do I need to have a 3rd sink installed, or is there another way?
Well, there are other ways of doing it. It'd be perfect to have a 3-sink system, of course, but she can have any clean, large enough vessel. She can. The number one thing, though, is to have the proper dilution. Mm-hmm. So you want to have 200 ppm if you're using a quart sanitizer.
Yeah. And
you want to have something large sufficiently that you can dip and immerse your and also test.
Like that.
Yes,
yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure to test to make sure that you reach the correct dilution,
mm-hmm.
correct concentration,
mm-hmm.
and something sufficiently deep that you can put your utensils, plates, etc. in the solution and remain there for at least 1 minute, then let air dry. So that's the key.
Yeah.
So you don't necessarily have to have a 3-sink system,
yeah.
but make sure you wash, rinse, and then into something where you could sanitize the product.
Okay, so one of those plastic little bins or totes or something like that.
Stainless steel bin, something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's clean. It has to be clean.
Yeah, so that'll help Christine. And I'll just throw this question in there. We've got so if Christine decides to go with the Serve Clean dispenser on the wall
mm-hmm.
And has the clean and the sanitize, she should also always use this, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because you want to ensure that you've got the correct dilution.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what the health inspector is going to look for when they come along, right?
That's what he or she looks for.
Yeah, then just dip it, and if it's right, carry on, and if it's not, you're in trouble.
You're in trouble.
Yeah, okay, so Christine, hopefully that helps you.
Mm-hmm.
George, here last week, you talked about your all-organic veggie wash. Do you have other products in the line, and where can I find that information?
Well, of course, we've got many products in that line, starting from laundry products, hand soaps, glass cleaners, etc., etc. And you can find that information on the website.
Yeah.
You can go allorganicclean.com.
Okay, good. And can you get that through Charlotte as
You
well?
can
Like
get that through
experts at charlotte.com? You can do that?
Yes, as well.
Okay, so George, hopefully that answers that question there. So what is there, like 8 or 9 different products in the line?
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Okay.
and growing.
And growing, good.
And growing.
Okay, well that's great. Rita here, A&J. She's got the A&J name down. That's good. Thank you, Rita. Thank you for these amazing sessions that actually relate to my professional career and home life. The information is accurate and very helpful. I have hard water stains in my bowl. Can you explain how to lower the water level once again, please?
Well, use your plunger and try to push some of that water out below the water line. And then what that does when you add your acid or what have you to remove the stains, you'll have a greater concentration to do the job.
Yeah, or you could use a bowl brush too.
You
don't have to use a plunger.
You can use a bowl brush as well.
But then the bowl cleaner actually comes in contact to the where the stain is, where the buildup is. So you've got automatically more built.
And you also get the correct concentration as well.
Yeah, good.
To do the job more efficiently.
Yeah, and we have a couple of more viscous bowl cleaners too that give you a little clinging, a little hang time, I guess I call it,
dwell time.
or whatever,
Dwell
time and whatever.
Yes.
There. Yeah. Okay, that's good. Some of our distributors have amazing bowl cleaners that are disinfectants and things there too. So we encourage you to, if you want the names of those or some help there, call us. Here's Ross. I ride public transit often, and I'm concerned going back to commuting and the risk of being infected. It's exactly what we talked about here. Should I carry a plastic sheet with me to place on the seat to avoid contact? Is this safer?
Well, you could carry a plastic sheet, but I would not recommend that at all.
Yeah. Is this a garbage bag? Maybe Ross. I don't. Maybe Ross is a garbage
Ross,
bag.
don't do that. Don't do that.
Oh, but Ross is concerned, right?
Well,
So
yes, yes. But the thing is, though, to again, my slogan: always wash your hands.
Yeah.
You just when you get to your destination, you wash your hands. Or alternatively, carry your hand sanitizer. And, we've got many different sizes that's coming out.
Don't you be promising things.
In the very near future.
Yeah.
Like I'll say by next week, Jim.
Yeah.
I guarantee you that by next week,
that
you'll have that product. And just carry a small bottle in your pocket, wash your hands, because as I said, the virus has got to get to your face.
Yeah.
It's not a problem on your clothes until you get home and decide to touch your face.
Yeah. Okay. So, Mr. IT Director, you heard him say that would be next week, right? Right. You heard
next
that?
week.
So, okay.
You got it.
Okay.
Next week.
Okay. Well, that's good. Gerald, where do I find your previous webinars? Are they still available? Do we have to purchase them? I think I covered that.
You covered that.
They're on there, Gerald. They are no charge. Okay. They are on there for you. They'll be on there for the foreseeable future for sure. And you do not have to purchase them, right? It's just our way of saying thank you and trying to help you lower the risk of an outbreak. So, and maybe you do business with us, our distributors across North America. Rihanna here. I cannot appear to get my cutlery clean and streak free in my restaurant, no matter what I do. Where is it here? A little spelling mistake here. It is about 3 years old now. I use a commercial grade dishwasher and pump automated system. Do you think it may be my formula off kilter, or is it time to replace the cutlery? Can you aim me in the right direction?
Well, it could be one of many things, but for starters, it seems as though she may have a water softening problem.
Okay.
To begin with, and secondly, that's not the case, and we have professionals that can come out and test the water supply, make sure that she's got soft water. If that's not the case, then we have different formulations that we could adjust in her machine. She may need a proper rinse agent and so on. So there are ways of fixing that problem.
So there's help for Rihanna.
There's help.
Yeah, because only 3 years old, that's probably not that old,
No,
right?
it's not.
And of course, it probably the quality of the cutlery comes into play too.
That's
right?
also a factor, but we'll determine that once
we
get
can
there.
do all that assessment. So Rihanna, we can do that on-site assessment for you and help you with that. Here's Susan. We receive a lot of calls about disinfecting auto scrubbers in our facility. Would you consider covering this in a future webinar? Thank you for considering, Susan. We will absolutely do that. Having your equipment clean and disinfected is key to lowering the risk, and that's a great suggestion. And keep those suggestions coming, because really, we wouldn't have done food safety more, probably, maybe down the road, but that came from people like you, that food safety question. I think we've done a great job of doing it. Here's Kathy, not a cleaning product related question, but if I use a HEPA filtered vacuum, will that lower the risk of coronavirus being spread in the air? I can answer that pretty easy. Absolutely. Right. Smaller particles escape everything that goes in a vacuum. The air comes out of a vacuum, whether it's dust, debris, coronavirus, H1N1, Ebola. It doesn't matter what it is, right? It comes out.
That's right.
Yeah. And HEPA is better. Is it worth the extra money? Absolutely, all day long. And the other thing with a filter bag is change it on a regular basis. Don't change it when it doesn't pick up anymore. Right. So that's and that everyone will feel better in the house. Whether you have pets or birds or children or grandma and grandpa, it doesn't matter. They'll all feel better there. Brent, I think we've got room for about two more. I'm trying to hurry here. Brent, this is from Brent. You've talked about the delivery methods for disinfectants. Are fogging or electrostatic cleaning considered acceptable methods of disinfecting against COVID-19? I just took the GBAC certification this week. Okay, so that's the Global Biorisk Advisory Council. That's all about back to work, that's all about PPE, that's all about respiratory, that's all about disinfecting and things. And actually, I can tell you, I've been in this industry a long time, and I learned several things. So I would encourage it to everybody. Actually, they covered it, and sprayers, foggers, and misters, whatever they are good to fight the COVID-19 and whatever. But you got to remember, they're delivery systems. They're delivery systems. It's the disinfectant that inactivates the virus. Is that exactly fair to say?
That's exactly it. I was about to tell you
that let you answer the question.
Yes, you've answered the question well, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Basically, these are just taking the star to the party, and that's basically it.
Yeah.
The disinfectant and dwell time is what's important.
That cleaning protocol. Yeah. So just don't go in and fog everything or mist everything and go crazy. That's one delivery method that's good, but you've got to make sure that cleaning protocol is there.
Yes.
And I think it's important we revisit that, and that's why every week it's pretty well that protocol question is on there, because
clean and disinfect.
It's the biggest area of mistake, I think, there.
Yes.
Here's one more question, and then we'll call it an afternoon here. Mark, will viruses grow in floor grouting? Is there a risk? What product do you suggest for cleaning and disinfecting these areas, and will it remove mildew and urine stains?
Well, viruses are parasites, and they basically look for humans, live cells, to grow. So they won't necessarily grow there, they will lurk there. Bacteria will grow in those spots.
Yes.
You can use a registered disinfectant. Make sure, of course, that you follow the use instructions, and dwell time.
Does it work like TV?
Not exactly.
No, TV. TV commercials are crazy because these miracle products you spray and it's instantly gone. 20 years of growth is gone in 3 seconds.
Yes.
I don't think anyone's going for that one anymore. For sure. And everything to clean it, you need the chemistry there to break it down. You need agitation to break it up as well, and then you need a form of removal, and then a water rinse or whatever it is. And grouting, it's probably fair to say there's a lot of strong foul odors that build up in grouting. Urine and everything else that goes to the floor. And you may want, we can help you with grout management, without question. One little thing here, and I could get in trouble saying this or talking about this, but dwell time is, and I just found it in my office, cabinet. But I mean, we talk about dwell and how do we extend the dwell time, right? This is a little foaming trigger head. That's what it is. I don't know where you can get them. Don't come to me and all of a sudden say you're going to get them here. But a lot of our distributors across North America may have them. They're probably sitting on a shelf because generally we haven't asked for them. But this will produce a nice foam around sinks and faucets and water fountains and all of those hard to get areas around your food equipment and whatever. And it'll actually thread onto any particular cleaner, and it's a foaming trigger head. And will you pay a little bit more? Probably, but you're going to get that dwell time and help you lower the risk. So we don't have them, so don't come to us as far as that goes. At least I don't think we do. And if we do, I'll be the first one to tell you. But again, this is all about education. So anyway, AskWith, we're right on our schedule here. We're probably a minute overdue. But thank you as always for joining us, because your wisdom is certainly respected by us all and appreciated for sure. And thank you and your team for doing what you do. To our customers, thank you. We wouldn't do this without you. It's really our responsibility to help you keep the registrations growing. We're growing every single week. And what's amazing is our amount of people that are repeating and watching the video again a couple more times actually during the next week or so is growing as well. So that's just telling us that we're doing something right. And we thank you there. So until next week, which is then May 15th, stay safe. Hopefully you and your family and loved ones practice your social distancing and AskWith.
And if you're a mother, happy Mother's Day.
Oh, geez, I forgot about that. Oh,
Happy Mother's Day to all your mothers out there.
Great, yeah.
And as Mom would say, always wash your hands.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, everybody. Stay safe, and we look forward to talking to you next week. Thank you.